And we are rolling. Hey guys, it's your buddy Jake Dominguez, and I know what you're all thinking for your old subscribers out there and your new subscribers. Wow, he's still alive. Well, yeah, I'm here guys, I promise. I'm okay, I'm alive. It's taken me forever to make a new video, and I'm terribly sorry about that. So if you guys saw my last video thanking you all for 70 subscribers, I talked about how I was having some family stuff come up and that sort of thing that made it kind of hard for me to find time to make a new video. Well, unfortunately, well not unfortunately, everything's okay, but it kind of kept on continuing, so I wasn't able to make a new video, and one thing led to another. Before I knew it, a week became 2 weeks and all of that. Please believe me, I wanted nothing more to make a video for this channel, but well, life just kind of gets in the way sometimes, and that's really too bad. But I'm here now. Thank you so much for being so patient. I know a lot of you were asking when a new video is coming out and that sort of thing. Well, here it is. It's for a movie that I'm really excited to talk about. Thanks for your patience. Sorry about that. I'm hoping that a big gap like that isn't going to happen again anytime soon. Let me tell you, the hardest part about having this YouTube channel, and really it's not too hard, it's pretty easy to do, but it's hard to just find time to make videos sometimes. I know you can watch some of my old videos, and I talk about how all these plans and reviews I've done, I still haven't done. It's really annoying, but it is what it is, and this is a video that I'm really excited to talk about. Movie I'm excited to talk about, excuse me. Alright, so today I'm going to do a review of the movie It, adopted by the classic book by Stephen King. I've seen the movie twice now. I saw it for a second time yesterday. Let's talk about it. This movie has become a huge phenomenon. It made over $100 million in its opening weekend just last weekend at the time I'm recording this. It's been a massive hit. People were projecting it to maybe make $80 million, something around there, $80-something million. It's a $100 million grossing movie, and it's become really successful. It's #1 at the box office this last weekend. At the time I'm recording this video, it has really become a massive hit, critically as well, and audiences really love this movie. Before I begin my review, I just want to talk about why that makes me happy as someone who is a big horror movie fan. A lot of times when horror movies are made in today's climate in, Hollywood today, it's basically written as, well, not written as, but they're produced very low budget. Most horror movies are very low budget films because it makes it easier for them to make their money back, right? Does that make sense? So most horror films are maybe made for, look at Blumhouse. They've made a bunch of horror movies nowadays. They just made Get Out and Split this year. A lot of their films are super low budget, which makes it, well, more opportunity to make more money. Most horror movies are very low budget. They usually take place in the dark. There's not a lot of huge money put into it, which is fine. It works. We still get some great horror films, right? In the case of something like Get Out, it was made for such a low budget that became such a massive hit that the amount of money it's making is crazy. But we don't get a lot of big budget horror films made nowadays. It's pretty rare. It isn't like a huge budget movie, but it's made for I think it's around $30 million, something around there. That's not massive in today's blockbuster climate. That's still a pretty big budget movie for a horror film. It rarely happens nowadays, and the fact that this movie is so successful makes me excited that we're going to see other big budget horror films as well. Now, there's nothing wrong with a small budget horror film, which is most of what we get nowadays. In fact, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It doesn't. It's all about the story and the characters and how good the movie is. But we have some great opportunities here for some bigger stories and some other things that studios up until now maybe were afraid to put money into. A famous example is Guillermo del Toro. He made the Hellboy films of Pan's Labyrinth and Crimson Peak. That's called, yeah, Crimson Peak and stuff like that. He spent so long trying to make the Mountains of Madness made, a movie based on the H.P. Lovecraft book. It was going to be a massive, Avatar-like, expensive horror movie, and he couldn't get it made for that reason. They just didn't want to put money into a big R-rated spectacle like that, which is really too bad. Since it is so successful, I'm hoping that studios are going to put more money into smart, intelligent horror films like this in order to make get us more of those, so we could get films like At the Mountain of Madness. I don't know if Del Toro's interested in making a movie like that, but something like that. More interesting stories in the horror genre. I think that's pretty cool. So, having said all that, that makes me happy that this movie is so massively successful. But what does it matter? All that matters is the movie itself. How is this film? It's great. I've already told you guys, I've seen it 2 times now, so you probably could already figure that out, that I probably liked it at least a little. But this is a terrific movie. It's not just a great horror film, it's a great movie, period. And I gotta say, they really went above and beyond with this film. It is surprisingly good. When I found out they were making a new It movie, this movie's been in development for many years. I really didn't go in with the highest expectations, but when I saw the first trailer, I'm like, oh, okay, they're not messing around. And they didn't mess around, because this movie is great. It, like I said, is not just a great horror film, but a great movie. What makes this movie so good and so scary is that it's not just the clown that is scary. It's not just it that's scary. It's the life of the kids in this place. Really, every single one of the kids in this movie has a scary life or scary things going around them. For those who don't know, it's pretty well known. This is an iconic book. It made a mini-series on it with Tim Curry. It is based on the story of these group of kids, these losers, the Losers Club as they call themselves, who band together to try to find out the mystery of why so many children and other people are getting lost or missing in this town. They end up figuring out that it's this clown monster creature called Pennywise the Clown, and they have to team up to figure out what on earth they can do about it. The problem is, they're a bunch of kids. What really can they do? And that's what the movie's about. So yeah, this clown is pretty scary. But each and every one of these kids has an arc in this movie. There's about 7 of them overall, and each and every single one, the filmmakers are smart enough to give them like a plot, an arc throughout this story. Some kids do get more screen time than others. I'd say the main characters are Beverly and Bill. They're the ones who get the most stuff to do. But each of them, regardless of their screen time, has a character arc, and it's great. And each and every one of them has some hard, terrible things going on in their home, which is pretty interesting. And I think that was a really smart, great move. I think really, real life is scary. And there's nothing scarier than going through your life, going through, puberty and all of that, and going through junior high, summer, not making friends. All of that is captured so well. This is such a great portrayal of childhood and having friends and all of that when in this film. It's really well done. Not only that, but the scares are great too. Pennywise the Clown in this movie is played by Bill Skarsgård. He's completely unrecognizable in this film. And I gotta say, he nails this character. He's so creepy. Even when it seems where he's not doing anything scary, he is so frightening. He is really creepy, and I loved his portrayal. He absolutely nailed it. He's great. The movie has great comedy as well, and it balances it really well. Yeah, there's creepy stuff. Yeah, there's scary stuff. But all the kids are really funny as well, which makes this overall a very entertaining film. You see, I've seen this movie twice now, and like I said, and it's a great audience picture. The whole movie is just so entertaining. This is a great film that you can watch where you can learn about how a story progresses forward, the propulsive nature of it. Every scene is not, boring. There's not a dull moment in this film. Every scene sets up for the next scene. That may not sound too remarkable, but only some movies and filmmakers can do that really well. When you're sitting watching a movie, you just can't take your eyes off of it, just every scene just keeps on going. There's never a dull moment. Everything builds up the story. Christopher Nolan does a great job of that. That's what they do in this film. That, combined with the humor and the great scares and all of that, makes it just a phenomenal audience picture. Every time I've seen this with an audience, people are clapping during the movie, they're laughing during the movie, they're screaming during the movie. It's a great movie to watch with an audience, which I think is one of the reasons why it's doing so well. That's awesome, because it's like you're watching a superhero movie or something. You know what I mean? You know, ever gone to like a superhero movie on opening night and the crowd is excited and they're whooping and all that? You know, just like, yeah! This is kind of like that. It really is a great example to make it a communal experience while watching the movie, which you guys know I'm crazy about, so that's really awesome. Overall, it's a great movie. Andy Muschietti is the director of this film. He directed another movie called Mama back in 2013, which I actually saw on my birthday. I remember that was my birthday movie that year. That was really good. He does a great job directing this film. It looks great. It's really lovely looking. The way he moves the camera and everything is great. It's just great. I don't know what else to say about it, but he really does a terrific job. Now, it's a great movie. It's only one part of the book. We're going to get the second part where the kids come back as adults. It hasn't been announced yet, but I imagine we'll get it soon, and I can't wait to see that. I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but I'm going to be honest. I've never read the book that this is based on. I love Stephen King. He's one of my favorite authors. I have never read the book. I want to. I haven't been able to find it at a library anywhere. To be honest, it's always checked out and stuff, if you really want to know. But having now read the book, I can't talk about this movie as an adaptation. Maybe one day I'll do a review based on that once I do read the book. But I can't wait to see what they do next. And this definitely has the feel of Stephen King's great story. This movie has great characters and a great story, as well as the great scares. And that's what makes it even more scary and such a great film. Overall, it's a wonderful movie. It's a big surprise. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. As far as flaws with the film, there really isn't that much. I would say there's a few little directorial flourishes that maybe were a little unnecessary without going too much into spoilers. There's a few little things where he does a little technique that maybe was a little unnecessary. Like there's one part of the movie where they go into slow-mo, and it's like for 2 seconds in the middle of this really fun scene. And it's like, you didn't need it. You know, it's not kind of unnecessary. It does have some of the same cliches we see in other horror films, but it knows it, and it does it well. Heck, this movie is based on a book that kind of helped to invent those cliches. So what can you do? It's what it is. So there really isn't that much to dislike about this movie. It really is super entertaining, super fun, super scary. All the kids are great, by the way. The cast is wonderful. It's just a great, entertaining movie. So I'm going to give it, for right now, an A-. I can even give it a higher grade in the future, but that's what I'm going to give it for now. Awesome movie. Go check it out. Well, guys, have you seen it? What did you think? And if you're a fan of Stephen King like I am, what other books or short stories would you like to see adopted as movies? Because I think we're definitely going to see a bunch of new Stephen King adaptations in the future, which is awesome. Bring it on. I can't wait to see that. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your patience with me and making this video out. I love you all. You're the greatest, and most importantly, never forget, I am your friend. I'm your friend. I'm always going to be there for you. Thank you so much for being mine. You guys are the best, and I will see you next time.